Good day, I'm Tracy Pa with the news update. History was made at Port Moresby General Hospital this week as Papua New Guinea successfully performed its first ever coronary artery bypass graft surgery, marking a transformative moment in the nation's medical history and the future of cardiac care. An 8-member team from Singapore Health Services and the National Heart Centre Singapore collaborated with Port Moresby General Hospital surgical team from August 15 to the 19th to operate on 5 patients. Of these, 3 underwent the landmark CABG procedure, 2 women and 1 man, while 2 others received complex cardiac interventions. Over 150 village health assistants under Midday Provincial Health Authority, East New Britain Provincial Health Authority, Catholic Church Health Services attended a week-long workshop in their respective provinces on safeguards implementation and reporting under the Child Nutrition and Social Protection Project recently. The training focused on promoting accountability in project implementation, inclusive engagement with communities, and transparent and ethical frontline service delivery. It empowered participants to act as agents of protection and inclusion in ensuring that the most vulnerable are respected, heard, and safeguarded throughout the project's life cycle. The objective is to enhance the adoption of priority nutrition interventions and improving purchasing power during the first 1,000 days of a child's life from pregnancy to age through a community-based approach. The nation's capital now has a deputy governor in the new Motu Koita Assembly Chairman Russell Wavik. At his swearing-in ceremony, Wavik read and cited the oath before Magistrate Gary Anja, pledging to be truthful and fulfilling his duty as the chairman for the Motu Koitabu people and city residents. Wavik emphasized his mission to make sure development is seen in his term as the chairman for MKA and deputy governor. City manager Ravu Frank said this small ceremony is significant.
We are so thankful that you have made time available for this very important event and occasion as Deputy Governor will be sworn and as he takes his office as Chairman of Motu Koita and also Deputy Governor to provide leadership for our people in Motu Koita.
Standing in the board of NCDC, which makes the paramount decisions of forward, raising up of every citizen in the city. And I am here on a mission to represent Motu Koita Assembly and its people who are the landlords of the city, and that's our mission.
The Papua New Guinea Electoral Commission yesterday returned the writ for the Usino Bundi open by-election, confirming the election of Vincent Mbane Kumura as the duly elected Member of Parliament. The written of the writ ceremony was held at the Electoral Commission headquarters in Port Moresby, where the Chief Electoral Commissioner formally received the completed writ and the member-elect signed off on official documents. The Usino Bundi written of writ event was witnessed by Deputy Prime Minister John Russo, Government Whip and Member for Gorka Tambua, and Police Minister Peter Shamalili Jr. Electoral Commissioner Simon Sinai in his remarks said the by-election was conducted peacefully, except for one incident where a candidate and his supporters hijacked a polling team. He said the candidate responsible was later arrested and charged for hijacking and tampering with the election process, adding that such candidates could be penalized for contesting in future elections once the reports reach the Electoral Commission. Mr. Sanai thanked electoral officials for Usinopundi for working hard under difficult circumstances at times to successfully deliver the election. He said with the successful return of RIT, Pumura can now take his seat in Parliament and continue to contribute meaningfully to national development. The RIT was presented to the Governor-General at the Government House today. Prime Minister James Marape has reaffirmed his government's commitment to the growth of small and medium enterprises, or SMMES, across Papua New Guinea, describing this sector as the backbone of inclusive and sustainable development and a central pillar of the Pangu-led government's reform agenda since 2019. Under Goal 6 of the Marape Manifesto, the government pledged to empower Papua New Guineans to participate more actively in wealth creation. Marape said SMEs are the vehicles through which ordinary Papua New Guineans can harness their land, resources and creativity into income, jobs and prosperity. The manifesto also provides a comprehensive framework for SME growth across sectors such as agriculture, mining, tourism, fisheries and emerging industries like carbon trading. In overseas news, a small plane has been towed away from crash, landing yesterday on a golf course in Sydney's north.
Bit of an unusual sight here at Monavale Golf Course, where a small aircraft has made an emergency landing at 2 p.m. on Sunday. The two people on board, an instructor and a student, escaped with just minor injuries. They were taken to the Royal North Shore Hospital yesterday in a stable condition. As for the aircraft, it's been sitting here all morning, with locals walking their dog coming to see the crash site and golfers going about on other parts of the course. We spoke with the owner of the Piper Cherokee, Simon Thomas, who rents the aircraft out to a training school. This is his first plane, but he's had it for less than a year, and he's glad it's insured.
The right-hand side control column's bent, so I assume it was the instructor, and I think normally that would take over in emergency situations.
Mr. Thomas says the crash likely was caused by a partial engine failure, and so now it's unlikely that the Australian Transport Safety Bureau will be investigating the crash, as most people on board are not majorly injured. Overall, it's a fortunate outcome for what could have been a fatal incident.
Book Week is here again, with many parents feeling the pressure to go to extra lengths to dress their children up as characters. Some schools have their own costume libraries, making life easier for busy families. There are others, though, who can't get enough of creating Book Week outfits and have some tips and tricks to share with other parents.
Hey guys, choose your bags.
The Book Week Costume Library is open for business, and students at this primary school are choosing their outfits and book to match.
I'm Sleeping Beauty. I'm an Optimus Prime. It feels like you're inside that book because you're wearing the same costume as the person.
The costumes have been donated to take the pressure off families who need a Book Week break.
Because it's so busy and the cost of living pressures as well, but mainly to have every child included and then them have agency. So the child chooses the book and the costume that they want.
Book Week has been part of Australian school life for 80 years. It's all about lifting literacy and encouraging a love of reading.
Book Week introduces them to books even more in a fun way and hopefully gets them to engage more with their reading.
For some parents, Book Week can stir up mixed feelings. Christina says, "I've got 5 kids and it's kind of a nightmare for me." Jenna says, "We love Book Week." And advice from Amber, never underestimate the power of cardboard and a glue gun. Mum Ebony and her family are big on Book Week.
I think as a farming family, it kind of comes naturally to repurpose and create things out of nothing.
They've made realistic trucks, motorbikes and spacesuits using cardboard boxes, vinyl tape and clever paintwork.
I think that's probably the bones of every costume we've created, and apart from time and imagination, there's really not a lot of cost involved.
A week to celebrate creativity, dressing up and most importantly, books.
Turning to sports, PNG Open 2025 held over the weekend was hailed a success by Prime Minister James Marape, sponsors and participants alike. Over 120 professional golfers from overseas participated, and for the first time a women's tournament was held. One of the standout performances of the event was that of PNG golfer Morgan Anoto. Amateur golfer Anoto was impressive, securing a place in the weekend field and completed against the top 4 golfers. Playing in his 7th National Open, Anoto shot a 2 under 70 to make the cut, his 3rd straight year to do so. MP Marape praised Anoto's efforts, stating that PNG can compete at the international event. With this performance, Anoto could now be sent to Australia's PGA Tour of Australia qualifying school, potentially becoming first Papua New Guinean to earn tour status. The PNG Open 2025 concluded on a high note, with Corey Crawford winning the Men's Open and Amelia Mahankor claiming the first Women's Open in PNG. And that ends the news update. Do join us at 6 tonight for more.